And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. Odie's going to be talking about Alabama's loss for some reason. I don't know why. First, what did you say was the first what? Double-digit home loss since 2003. First double-digit home loss since 2003. Somebody's not in a good mood in Tuscaloosa, Alabama this morning. Last night either, probably since that happened. But that's the way it goes. Every college at some point in time will lose a game. It's just normally not Alabama. They really work hard to have the best of the best of the best. Interesting. How's everybody doing? I hope you're doing well this morning as we start our day. It is Tuesday. I had to think just a second to make sure I was on the right path. LaWanda, how are you? Miss Jean, Jerome is up with us. Miss Dorothy, Causeyville representing this morning. Shirley, so many of you. As we get today going, we got a lot to go over what's happened in the last 24 hours as America remembered 9/11 yesterday. A lot of activities happened in our area. I do hope you got to see some of it. We got a lot of it recorded and put up yesterday. We'll discuss all that. Right now, let's head out to Collinsville. Oh, let's get a good word here. Let's go into the First Baptist Church.
I remember when I got a job after graduating high school at an electric motor shop. It was an upgrade in pay from my former job, and I was happy. I started out cleaning motor no one else was hired to do, but it was a good job. But the reason I got the job had nothing to do with my talents and abilities. No, one of the owners was a good friend of my dad's that he had worked with before at another company. I got the job because I was my dad's son, and that's the way things work sometimes. It's not that way when it comes to salvation. In Romans chapter 9, verses 6 through 13, Paul tells us that not all of Abraham's children were children of the promise that God made with Abraham. They weren't all considered the children of God simply because they were the natural children of Abraham. He says in verse 7, nor because they are his descendants are they all Abraham's children. On the contrary, it's through Isaac that your offspring will be reckoned. In verse 8, he will go on to say, in other words, it is not the natural children who are God's children, but it is the children of the promise who are regarded as Abraham's offspring. This is a partial explanation of God's great covenant he made with Abraham. This applies today for us under the new covenant of grace. Just because we are born to Christian parents or born to a Christian family doesn't mean that we are automatically Christians ourselves. We must have our own faith. We must receive the gift of salvation that God offers through His Son, Jesus Christ. That gives us a personal relationship with Him that's not based on who we were born to, but that we have been born again. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. And welcome back as we begin our day. Let me hit this button here so we'll be able to hear things correctly. As we go to headlines this morning to take a look around at what's happening. No end in strike for the Hollywood writers. Anybody worried about that? Hadn't affected me just yet. I know there's a lot of people that worry about that, but no end in sight is, well, some of your favorite movies may not be happening, or TV shows. They're still at it. We'll see how that turns out. New Mexico governor. Is everybody up to... I don't think this is... It's really not legal. At least that's what the rest of the United States is saying. New Mexico. The governor has banned firearms, concealed permits for 30 days in the state to try to curb crime. If I were a betting man, the only people that aren't going to have guns are the good guys. You see, the criminals don't normally pay attention to laws, and that's how they get in trouble to begin with. That's just a little special side note there for the governor of New Mexico, in case she happens to see this. It's sad. It really is sad. And she is getting flack from each sides of the aisle. Even the Democrats and the Republicans are coming together on this, going, you can't do that. Around Albuquerque is where that's going on. Truthfully, that's not going to help anything. As we go to the Grand Canyon this morning, we learned that a hiker has died. Was attempting to climb to the top in a one-day trip, 21 miles up. Didn't work out. It's 21 miles altogether. The hike to the top, fell, passed away. We pass along condolences on that. Now, I don't know where they get these studies or how they come up with it, but if you've got diabetes, they say you shouldn't be a night owl. If you're a night owl, the longer you work and stay up, they say the worse it is to give you a risk of diabetes. So if you're a night owl, you're most likely not watching us now. We're up with the chickens this morning. But that's what the doctors say. Again, I'm not quite sure how they come up with these surveys and can validify all of that, but that's what they say. If you're in the Pennsylvania area, be aware that there is an armed killer that has escaped. They're on the look for this man here in Pennsylvania, PA. He's a convict named Daniel Cavalet, if I pronounced that correctly. They're scouring the area looking for him. Trouble is what it is. We do hope that they are found. So we'll keep you up to date on that as it all begins there. Let's see what else is happening this morning. And I scratch my eye because I sometimes go, did you really? We have someone running for office. Virginia is where it is. She's refusing to drop out. She at one time, let me see what she used to do. It seems like she was a teacher of some sort, but I'm not 100% on that. But she's running for office in Virginia. And I'm trying to politically say this correctly. Y'all know that site, OnlyFans? It's real similar to that, where she and her husband engaged in certain curricular activities and then asked for tips. I think everybody in Virginia has watched it. And she goes, no, I ain't dropping out. I guess maybe she thinks it'll get her extra votes. Where the moral compass of America, where are you now? Because it does make you think that people should stand up and say, no, you really should step down. That wouldn't even have been thought of 40, 50 years ago. They started thinking of it during the 80s, I'm sure, and now they're doing it. But seriously, where is the line of decency? Oh, yeah, it may have been when America started dropping, not going to church, where we're at below 50% for the first time. We don't have a compass anymore, do we? Somehow or another, we got to get that meter going back in the right direction. How that will happen, I don't know. Only by the grace of God. But that's the stories that we're watching there out of Virginia this morning. It just really upsets you. Anybody remember the father? And I don't think there's a mother, a daddy, or anybody here watching to where, I think it was also Virginia, it was, to where he sends his daughter to school. She goes into the bathroom. She's raped by somebody pretending to be, well, I think it was where you can go to the bathroom where you want to. A male was in there. The daughter was raped. He erupted in court, mad. They arrested the dad. The only good thing I can say that the Virginia governor has ever done was he dropped charges against the dad this week. They've dropped all charges against him. The prosecutors should have never charged that father for what they did. His daughter was raped at school when she was supposed to be taken care of. Not taken care of because they were allowing boy-girl bathrooms. I want to say the perpetrator had on a skirt, if I remember right, because it identified as a girl that day and then changed its mind in the course of the day. And again, that's where our compass is messed up there. Wow, oh wow, oh wow. A few of the things that are developing across America this morning that makes you think. It does. We'll do our best to remind you of those things as they come about because it's important to know what's going on. It is. We'll be right back. We got more coming up. We'll get into your forecast here in just a moment. Don't rush off. We'll be right back.
At the Back Porch, we're bringing families back together for fun, food, and all the things you love to enjoy around your home. Every event starts with a great grill, great cookware, and accessories. Add in some locally sourced meat and dairy, along with frozen vegetables and casseroles, and over 500 brands of spices and sauces. Relax in our chairs, swings, day beds, and have fun with our cornhole boards. From coolers to trailers, we have everything you need. When you see the big chair, you've made it to the Back Porch.
Philadelphia Gun & Pawn, located at 910 Posey Avenue, has tons of lawnmowers to choose from. A big selection of zero-turn lawnmowers, power washers, and even barbecue grills. Step inside the store and see their complete line of Liberty safes along with those Browning safes. A large selection of Louis Vuitton purses along with satin shirts and bead sets. and tons to choose from for the outdoorsman in your household. And always a great deal on any type of jewelry you're looking for. And a private lobby for pawns for your confidentiality. Philadelphia Gun and Pawn. Dependability, that's what our folks do here at Grayson Optical, locally owned and operated there. If you need anything when it comes to a pair of eyeglasses, from sunglasses to all the way getting you some custom lenses and glasses to fit you, go by and see the many styles that they've got there. And again, as I mentioned, this is folks that live and work here in Meridian. They want to make you happy. They're going to bend over backwards to make that happen. Not some out-of-town folks. They're here. They do this, and they can, in most cases, get you done in a couple hours. Drop it by, see what they can do for you there. Again, pick the style that you like. Looks best on you. Not every pair of glasses is for everyone. I mean, it took Odie like 5 hours to pick out that pair he's got. Took it slow. But they can show you all this. Eddie Bauer frames. There's so much more to look at there. See them today. Sunglasses, get those prescriptions done there to where you don't have to do it. And they can even do the layered there where they lighten up. However you want to do it. 24th Avenue, Grayson Optical. 693-6374, again, locally owned and operated, so you can talk to someone when you've got an issue. Maybe you get a screw that comes out. You can't get that help offline, can you? But you can here locally. See them at Grayson. They'll help you out there. All right, as the morning progresses, it's nice outside. Has anybody noticed that, well, it's 67 degrees? It was 66 a little bit earlier. We may see a drop before the sun comes up. As we glance at radar, let's do this before we get deep into the forecast. Look at this. Absolutely nothing happening in our area here in the east central Mississippi area. We do have a few rain showers popping up in northern Mississippi and out to the west there, coming in from Arkansas, Hot Springs area, light showers. Now, as afternoon drifts on around in this area here around 4 p.m., we could see a 20% chance of showers. A little bit of rain down here also off the coast, just above 90 on Highway 67 in that area there. A little bit of showers. Nothing bad, just stuff that we're watching there. All right, let's get into the forecast now.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Those record highs and record lows as we go back. 2019, it was 100 on this day. Whew. And Donna, I agree with you. This is porch sitting weather here at 67. The record low was 46 back in 1940. There's a few folks around that probably can still remember that. As we see sunshine today, 94 in Meridian. As we make it to Philadelphia, a little bit cooler, 93. But by the time we get to that Columbus Air Force Base, Starkville area, we'll drop another 3 degrees. Out to our west there in Vicksburg, 93 hovering, the same as the Meridian area, Natchez. The further you go south toward the coast, the warmer it is today. As we glance across the Bama line there, chances of rain there, 93 in Demopolis, Tuscaloosa, 93, and a cooler 90 in Birmingham this morning. We'll start seeing those differences starting tomorrow, won't we? We'll look at that in a second. The wildfire danger has not expired yet for our area. Pay attention to these local burn bans as we looked at that yesterday. No end in sight. Of course, the Forestry Commission will let us know when that changes, but here's the heightened risk area. Lauderdale, Newton, portions of Neshoba County, and a mile or so into Kemper County as well, all of Clark and southward. So don't burn, not yet anyway. We see normal temperatures in the northern Mississippi area, below average in northeastern Bama and Georgia and into Tennessee. Southern Mississippi, a little bit warmer than it is here. A little bit of a warm front down on the Texas coastline into Louisiana. Not going to make it to Mississippi yet as we'll start seeing this. 80-degree weather starting tomorrow. It'll be a 10-degree difference basically tomorrow from today. Doesn't that sound good? It does to me. A 20% today, increasing to a 30% chance of showers by tomorrow. We get into the 86 to end the week there. 87, 86 over the weekend. If you've got a weekend event, it's going to be perfect. Can't beat that. 30% chance of showers over the weekend as well. As let's go another week into this, we don't see 90-degree weather again until about the 23rd. And it's not bad. It's just a couple of days there of 90, 91. The lower 90s. We'll take that any day over that 98 and 110 heat index, won't we? Nothing too drastic there. Biggest chance of rain later on will fall about the 26th of the month. Can you believe we're even talking about September being over and October rolling in? Scary. From the National Hurricane Center, we see that Lee is a Cat 3 this morning, moving right along at 115 miles an hour, 948 megabars. And we're expecting this, if it stays on track, and we'll look at it on radar, to go to Canada, barely missing the States. Margaret, she's a Cat 1 at 86 miles an hour, 979 millibars. And another storm system developing off the coast of Africa at a 70% chance of developing is what we've got at this point. Let's go back to radar and pull this up where you can see a full bird's eye view of what we've got going on with this hurricane system as we move across here. Right now, again, this morning is a Category 3. By Friday, we'll decrease to a 1 and eventually coming right in here to Canada. Flintstone Rock, this area right there, and missing us. Maybe a little bit of rain there in Concord, Boston area, Portland, some rain. But bullseye will be there in Canada. Now, as we look over here, this should develop nothing more than a 2 at this point. That's through Saturday there on Margaret. As we watch this, nothing else yet. Those spaghetti models, again, showing basically it's going to Canada, not the U.S. Always scary when you deal with these things. We've been blessed so far. The worst that we've had there is at Florida this year, that cat storm that came up on the shore a few weeks back. The Gulf has been extremely well from Alabama back through Texas to us. Nothing to complain about, is it? Let's see. As we need to get into the fishing forecast, don't we? Yeah, that's what we need to do. And what did I do with it? I got to find it. Here we go. Let's take a look at the fishing forecast brought to you by Chet's Paint Body. Today, best times to go fishing is going to be around 10:30 this morning till 12:30. So a lunchtime, a little bit before lunch, show up, enjoy yourself. Again, it will be dark the next time, 11 o'clock tonight. So the best times to fish today is about 10:30 through lunchtime. You've got a minor time there happening there at 5:30, but otherwise, go early. Wind's going to be coming west-southwest around 5 miles an hour today. Quick look at what the weather's doing there. But this is one of those days where you open the door and you can breathe it in and it feels good. Enjoy it while we've got this stuff. Before long, you'll open the door and you go, hur. It ain't now, though. We go from one extreme to the next. I'm cold-natured now. I just can't help it. I get the burrs quickly. We're coming up on, let's see here, we're about 12 minutes before the top of the hour. We'll go live here in about 8 to 9 minutes to bring you the morning show. We're behind the scenes, pulling together everything that's going on. We'll see you very soon as we'll kick off the morning show with Scotty Ray and Odie here at the Scotty Ray Report. Join us, won't you?
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.